Hi, I'm Martin Edwards and I work for the Students' Union Advice Team. We're here to provide help and advice to students. And one of the main areas of work that we have is student finance and money. Now, have you ever wondered where all your money goes? Does it just seem to vanish out of your account and leave you out of pocket? Well, that's what we're here to discuss today. My special guest is Ralph Hayward, who is a colleague who works in the student advice team at the Students' Union. Ralph, would you just like to say a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been doing this job for a very, very long time now. Started in 1997. What a sad and ambitionless little man I must be. But hopefully spreading sweetness and light, helping lower a ladder when students find themselves in a financial pit.
And my other guest here who has joined us today is Eddie Bemecki. Hi, Eddie.
Hi, how you doing? How you doing, everybody? I'm Eddie Bemecki. I'm a mature student, level 6. I'm studying film production, and I'm also the chair for the Student Union Voice for the Race and Cultural Inclusion Network.
Very good. Thank you very much, Eddie. So let's kick off with something that's probably on a few people's minds, as particularly mature students, perhaps more so, or even though younger students as well. And that is the whole issue of what do you do when you have dependents? And by that I mean, so you have a family, you have dependent children, you have people financially dependent on yourself. And Eddie, I know that you have kids, so what would you say the challenges were?
Well, I've got he's 4 in 2 weeks' time now, and I think when we first met in 2019, when I first come to university, gibbering back because I didn't know how to do anything administrative, because being more of a creative person, creative thinker. But having a small child, a toddler, one of the things that's helped it with the student finance is that both me and my partner are studying, so that does take the strain off of it. I can imagine for some people it might be tough. You want to go to university, you want to study, you've got a small child, but then you're the only person that's got that ambition of being a scholar, I suppose the word is. So one thing that you might have people on the other side saying, like, you do always get pushed, especially with the economic deficit this country's facing in modern times, that money takes a precedent. But one of the reasons I'd say, talking to other students or mature students, especially mature parents, is the reason they've come back to university in this country is because of possibly economic deficit, because people have looked at the cost of living and where their living is and the fail of the rate of inflation, and they suddenly took the side that I've been doing this all my life. I'm now going to do something that makes me enjoy getting up in the morning. I am going to follow my dreams. I am going to follow my ambitions. And mostly, a lot of people decided, I'm finally going to break the shackles and I'm going to follow my actual skills and talents. And obviously, with student finance, that is something that you need as a mature parent as well. It can be challenging sometimes if you don't know the way. I come to university, I just thought, like you do with anything, maybe I'm older, sort of 53, so I come from the time when you thought, I'll fill out a form, I'll wait a couple of weeks, it all comes back. Not these days. Everything's now, because it's digital, is more meticulous. So you make a mistake, it's got its algorithms and that, it's going to come back to you. Try doing it yourself without taking on the one thing that StaffsSU University does offer you, which is, especially the student union, more than the university, is help and support, which is, follow the sign of the 3 ambassadors on the window, go up them stairs, and it's not like it is. A lot of times you've never been to a university, you think it's another office. It is there. It is actually a union. So, and these two fellows here, Ralph and Martin, have on many occasions stopped me from having a breakdown, because you will have the challenge of, you got lucky. The first thing you come here, especially I can talk for someone just a toddler, you come to university and you think, nursery, well, there's a nursery here. Straight away there's a nursery here, it's moving into a lovely new building. But then it's the fact that you don't, your costs are very low for nursery. It's about £25 a week I have to pay myself. The rest is supplied through a childcare grant. But to do the childcare grant, I would say to anyone listening to this podcast that's a mature parent or a mature student, I'll say there's two things you must realise. You have got access to a nursery, student-run nursery, so an academic nursery. It's not just going to be a place where your child's running around feral like they do at home. But it's a place that is really good. But you've also, if you've also got access to a mature student grant on top of your student grant, so to help you with your living costs. But if there's two of you at university, only one of you can apply for that. I would suggest, through my own trial and error, that if you're a couple that are both studying, one applies for the childcare grant and the same person applies for the mature student grant, because you're going to spend the money together anyway. Believe me, the living costs in the UK are that much. But do it that way. One applies for one, but both apply for student finance. But do come to see these two lovely gentlemen. They will help you through the process the first time, hopefully just the first time, of accessing your student finance, because it's not the university there to help you go through the student finance, because it's a big application. And myself, with your studying, and especially if you're moving to the area, house hunting, moving into a new house, take the support that's there for you to offer, and it will be a win-win. It becomes easy. I say that. It's easy to word. But I'm saying Martin and Ralph make it easier for you, because it is, like I say, it is like anything now. It is a red tape process applying for finance anywhere in the country. It's the same now, like applying for a property. Go through the green pad. The universe, don't go to the other estate agents, goes to the green pad, because they will just make it easier. And if you're going to another estate agent, go through them anyway, but come upstairs to the union when it comes to student finance and talk to the team. With anything, talk to the team, discuss with the team. They are here, that is what they're here for, and they are here they actually genuinely do want to work there to help you. I can vouch for this, because I had stumbling blocks and you helped me through it, which made it easy, and it's made my studying just roll on, because it's, because with the studying, I thought, go to university, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. So only when you get to university, and if you're taking it seriously, which you should be when you've got this opportunity, I wouldn't say the word hard. I don't like the word hard. I find it condescending to people and, apathetic to the truth of it. It's like, you're going to excel in university. There's the only way I can say about it. You come to university, your life's going to get better. You're going to excel. So the stuff you don't have to deal with on top of it, as a mature parent, as I know, if you've got a toddler, I know how hard it is. But when you've got these young students going out drinking every night, and you're just thinking, I just want to get them to bed early, which you do. It's not. There's nothing better to make you sleep easier than knowing that you've got a team working behind you to make sure all your finances are in the right place.
Thank you very much. Ralph, I can just talking to Eddie here. It sort of, to me, it highlights some things about how confusing the student finance system can be, and knowing what is available and what it's actually even called. And would you like to sort of say a little bit more about the grants and loans available?
Oh, I certainly can. Welcome to the technical briefing, everybody. It all sounds very cool. It all sounds very supportive when you see it on the web. Because if a student's got kids, the headline offer is you can get a parent's learning allowance up to £1,821. If you've got a partner who's financially dependent on you, you can get an adult dependence grant up to £3,796. Bad luck you miss out on that because you're both students.
We're both students, but I've got a bit of a dicky leg at the moment, so maybe later can claim.
Sorry, ruled out just because both members of the couple are students, I'm afraid. If a full-time student has childcare costs, there's a childcare grant designed to pay up to 85% of the childcare cost. And if a student's a single parent or is one of a couple, both of whom are full-time students, score, you get extra maintenance loan as well. And a great big chunk of that, £4,014, is disregarded for benefit means tests. It all sounds very cool, very straightforward, very, hey, take my money, take my money. but that's only on the surface. It can be shark-infested waters when you actually put on your scuba suit and go looking a little deeper. The stuff you find harder to find is that all of this stuff is to some extent means tested. A lot of people think to themselves, oh, I'm going to be fine, I get the maximum maintenance loan, my partner's income's less than £25,000 a year, it's all going to be cushy.
Eddie 2019.
I wasn't going to say it. But the means tests on these grants are even more stingy than on the student maintenance loan. I'm not going to bore you for half an hour with all the calculations, but if you have kids and you've got a partner and your partner's income before they started the course was over $14,900, oh dear, bad luck, it starts chipping away at your parents' learning allowance. Whoops-a-daisy. The childcare grant, it depends how many children you've got, but if partner's income was over $9,200 before you started the course, there's a chance that could start chipping away at how much childcare grant you could get. And if you have an adult partner who's not a full-time student, adult dependence grant, if their income was over £8,700, it can start chipping away at how much adult dependence grant you get. So it does get a lot more fraught than those headline figures. And if you're in any doubt, don't trust generic information. Don't even trust generic helplines. In danger of trying to advertise my own service and get work for myself. If you've got children, if you've got a partner who's not a full-time student, one of the most important things is talk to your friendly neighbourhood advice team, Ralph Hayward, Martin Edwards, and we should be able to do the calculations under the hood and tell you exactly what you will and unfortunately sometimes won't end up getting.
And that is also a service that we offer to prospective students who want to know if they can afford to go to university. And as we said in a previous podcast, sort of being prepared is absolutely vital if you're going to start a course of higher education, because then you know what you're letting yourself in for. Yeah. So is there anything else you think that could be of any benefit to students who basically have dependents and are thinking about coming into university? Perhaps they're thinking maybe they're on state benefits and they're worried that they might lose their universal credit.
Oh, and there we have another big can of worms. Since you've mentioned universal credit, I'm going to start off with a big disclaimer. If you're currently getting a benefit that isn't universal credit, but is means tested, anything like income support, employment support allowance, tax credits, which aren't called a benefit, but they're a benefit, housing benefit, get advice before you try applying for universal credit. A few people are better off on universal credit. Quite a few people are worse off on universal credit because of how the means tests work. So don't go switching anything without getting professional advice from the likes of yours truly. But then, of course, there's other worries. Most full-time students, they're just kicked out of the state benefit system because they're full-time students. I don't claim this is fair, honest. I don't claim it's unfair either, I'm strictly non-political. But in order to actually keep state benefit eligibility when you're a full-time student, there's only a few little categories of students who can claim. If you've got kids that you get child benefit for, bingo. If you both get personal independence payment, a type of disability benefit, and have been assessed by the good old Department for Work and Pensions as having limited capability for work. Bingo. If you have a partner living with you who's not a full-time student, they might be able to keep the claim going. But if none of those three apply, you are going to lose your state benefits becoming a full-time student. Student income normally makes up for that. In fact, quite often it makes up for that and then some. But that can surprise quite a few people. And then they get surprised by the means test as well. Because bits and dribs and drabs of all this student funding get taken into account, start reducing the level of benefit. I'm not going to try and bore everyone with the full technicalities, but I will say the one that surprises generations of students year after year is that bits of the maintenance loan are taken into account for benefit means tests. And going through the head runs, it's a loan, I have to pay it back. That's not proper income. But that's the way the rules are written. I'm not claiming it's fair. I'm not claiming anything about fairness. It's the way the rules are written. See the grey in this beard? It's created by trying to make sense of funding systems. There isn't always common sense to be found in them. Wrinkles round the eyes, grey in the beard, all caused by looking for it when it's not there. You'd never guess I was only 25, would you?
Never, Ralph. I'm sure that you're just a mere stripling.
Oh, yes, if you believe that, I have a bridge I'd like to sell you.
One of the things I've noticed in my time as an advisor is that students very often are dealing with not just one bureaucracy, but several bureaucracies at one go. So you are dealing with the university when you're applying, you're dealing with the student finance system, and you're also dealing with the benefits system. I mean, from your perspective, Eddie, I mean, how have you found this?
Well, being completely transparent and open, if it wasn't for student advice team with you guys, I would probably be, me and my partner later would be struggling. Not just, I'm not going to talk about the finance, on the administrative side of it and the stress it can cause without the help, like you touched on earlier about the means testing when you're doing, it's not written in black and white. It's not, mate. You're not got a form that's in layman's terms. It's not like you've got the idiot's book to chemistry and the idiot's book to advanced mathematics. You haven't got the idiot's book to apply for your student finance, which you can do with. But how I found it mostly is just basically to seek the support that's here available if there's any stumbling blocks, rather than, because obviously we live in a society of knee-jerk reaction. So it is natural for people to, if something goes possibly south of their application, to have an instant knee-jerk reaction. There's no need for it. There is no need for a knee-jerk reaction because 99.9% recurring, if they come and seek support from you guys, it will get solved. As I've occasionally, it's now to the point now, if I, like this year's application, when it's gone because of the means testing, I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried. I know I can talk to you guys, give you permission to talk on my behalf. It will get sorted out. It's just I do, and also it is accepting that there are how many universities in this country with people applying at the same time, which we all usually do exactly at the same time we can. Excuse me. At the end of April, when it's available, everyone chucks it in, and then suddenly there's just all these. You are lost into. You are in a. It's not basically shredding a load of 1,000-page book and then finding one verse. You've got to wait till it's reeled out, and that is a way of things. Just wait, be patient, seek advice. And unlike me in 2019, remain calm. And also, excuse me, one more time. If you're a mature parent like myself, there is also at the University Student Union the Mature Parents Network, which is there for the parents as well, which will also be a go-to gateway to you if you're having trouble with the finance. They can, on your behalf, contact Martin and Ralph and get the ball rolling for you. And also, which really was handy during the COVID time, when we had some difficulties like in the new place, child just starting his terrible twos, stuck in a house, not knowing anyone, 4 months up here, and suddenly that started off 5 months. but there was times when we went to the student advice and the finance department gave us help with like money, because we can apply for the university. That's the other good thing with this student union. If you are waiting for your money, they will help you with a loan, short-term loans and that, so you're not just stuck. It's not like a case you're not getting your student finance, that's it. These guys are working on it, but you've got to stick there. It's not going to happen. They will supply you with food parcels. They will supply you with money to keep your maintenance costs going. You won't be just left there lumbered. And they will, alongside like the estate agent people, contact your landlords and keep you in a place where you know you're not going to be literally left there with no communication. You will be supported. That's the main thing I think people need to realise. Is no matter what, you will always be supported here at this university, at this student union, should I say.
I think you're quite right. There is support provided in a crisis, and we really sincerely hope that you don't come to the point where you need that help, but it is there if you absolutely do.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, I think that has sort of brought us to a natural conclusion. So thank you very much, Eddie.
No worries,
really
thank you very much, and I hope this helped you people, but it's like I say, please come and it'll be good to see you all here.
And thank you very much for your contribution, Ralph. That's been really enlightening.
Thank you for having me, Gav.
So it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
And it's goodbye from me and him.